Hi guys, welcome to my system. This is the B. Yes, Plasma. And as you see, 2088 packages. I'm not shy of installing everything we got on the Calamars, of course. For me, it's a test to see that everything works and everything updates and all that. So that's why it's all installed. With a beautiful plank up here. In ArcoLinux, we have releases every 2 months. We give you a stayrolling video, that's online. But we give you also what changed. In 2 months' time, a lot has changed. And that's why we keep track of things and tell you, because then you know what's going on with the system. Knowing what packages changed, what names changed, or what we added, or what we excluded is important. So here we go. We have an article ready on ArcoLinux.info, right? Information, that's what the info stands for. And we have an article ready to go from. Now this month, it's a bit a special month in the sense that we froze everything. All our, the core members, right? The beta testers, I think it's like 10, 15 people install ISOs and they report back to us, all good, everything fine. So we were ready to release everything with version 2021, right? January. All was well until we got a post on the forum saying, look, I can't install this particular ISO, ArcoLinux. And he figured out that if he removed this particular package, that he could reboot again. I said, oh, that's strange, right? Since all of our systems just work with the package on the ISO, but this person with his software, with his hardware, I think it was 2019, the PC did not boot up. And then we investigated things, and on ArchWiki you can find it still here, I think, on the Intel graphics of ArchWiki. It says here, we recommend not installing the XFCE video Intel. So for years we've been putting it on ISOs, no issues, but things change, kernels change, drivers change, so hardware changes. So basically we said, okay, let's help this guy. And we made a nice video for him. I said, look, that's why ArcoLinux is so interesting. You can build your own ISO. ArcoLinuxB.com means build your own ISO. It does not, it's not solely about having Firefox there or having Vivaldi. You can exclude a driver that's bugging you, that's not interesting for your hardware, and build your own personal ISO that way. So we gave him the video to say, basically say, delete the line and build the ISO and see what happens. But then of course we went along and said, look, maybe in the future our next video, or sorry, our next ISO for March should be one without. So we started building already the March version, which is basically, the difference is basically having or not having that package. And that's it. So we recommend you guys try this variant, so that will be the future variant without the package. And this guy is only available on ArcoLinux, ArcoLinuxD and Plasma. That's it. All the rest is frozen in time and is the 21.01 with it. So with this package. Again, important, there is a video about it, news it says, what to choose in January. So it's important to know another video to explain to you guys. When you go downloading on SourceForge, you'll see 2 versions. I say, look, what's that? 03, that's March, right? And here is 018. You can have a look at the package list, this one and this one, compare with Melt, and you know all the details. But the most important thing is the package. That's not included anymore on the future ISOs like March. All right, let's continue our story of what we've changed. A lot of things have been changed and it's going back in time actually. So we've made beautiful icons, self-made it says, fantastic. So Horst3180 did a great job. I am still loving his blue folders for any file manager, Nemo or Nautilus, doesn't really matter, Dolphin, it's all beautiful. But we are now reusing a script from Linux Mint. These guys have these green folders. Remember the green look from Linux Mint that are focusing on. I'm not a real fan of green, but I like to change my thing, my view, 24 hours looking at the screen, files and folders, right? I want to change that up and then pimp that a little bit. And with these scripts, you can have 16 million colors, of course. And I've just made this purple thing here, together with Norton Ghost Flexible, and together we've made a Spring Rain theme. So the color is called Spring Rain, so that's why. And we explain you that. So make your own theme, in a sense, make your own colors, color your Arc theme any way you like. We've made many tutorials about Nvidia. I've received a few machines that have Nvidia drivers, so I could look into the matter, why people get this fail to start light display manager thing. It's a lot of things. Let's not go into that. But there are playlists now. There's lots of information on YouTube just about Nvidia. And it's an Nvidia driver. There's a 340, there's a 390. We have Linux LTS. It's a complex material or issue or topic is better. The complex topic Nvidia installation. But first, my advice would be, guys, just go through Calamares without Nvidia and see then later. If it's the second time and you know you need the Nvidia package, why not immediately install it via Calamares, right? So I have one of these PCs I have now here. I just can click Nvidia immediately on Calamares and just boots up, which is great. But sometimes you need the 340 and 390 and so on in special settings. Since I was working with Nvidia so much, I thought, let's make a conky that provides me some information about the GPU, the temperature here, utilization, things in memory, percentages and so on, fan speed. So a new conky called AUR Nvidia. Of course, only available for people who have Nvidia. Right. You will see that some of the lines will not work. That's great too. Just put a hashtag in front of it in the conky and you just don't see the error anymore, or you figure out what you have to place behind it, because all these cards are different. Hardware is different, meaning you need to tell the conky it's that you have to look on my machine, or otherwise just delete the line and you won't see the error anymore. So information about the conkeys. Yeah, XFCE made a lot of changes, not only to, of course, to the icons and the names of the applications, which as a result broke all icon themes, Papyrus, Numix, and like, and Sadi server, everything's broken because these guys renamed the application, so that the reference to the icon. So in the same time, we had a broken thing. Inside ArcoLinux D, right mouse click and then open a terminal was broken because we were missing a package. So they moved things around. So basically XFCE moved and we adapted basically. We've added an extra line. That's an important thing maybe. We were talking about no mode sats, videos about that. So if you boot up with any Linux distribution and you have a problem, say, oh, I don't get anything, why not edit with a tab or an E and type behind, like it is here, no mode set, like this here, no mode set, do not set a mode, no mode set. And then the Linux kernel says, okay, I won't, and maybe you can boot into something nice and graphical and do something more. So that's an extra line for you guys. So a fail safe, let's say, to try out if the second line is, so first of all, try the first line. Boots up, fine, great. First line doesn't boot up. Try the second line, that's the failsafe. And upon some point in time I was playing around with Linux and Linux LTS kernels and I forgot to update the grub. It's a command we have, Control-T, alias, update grub. But why do we have that? Because I forget this line, sudo grub make config -output boot grub. It's too long, so that's why we have because we're lazy now, because we're efficient, of course, update grub. That's a command and that's replaced, that's an alias. So thinking about that period, I thought, why not make a pacman hook? So it's finished, you never need to remember it again. Remind you, we're on ArcoLinux. If you go through to phase 5, the learning curve, the learning phases, and you go on ArcoLinux, nothing is there, right? It's again this long thing you have to type. That's the thing you need to type to update the grub if you install Linux LTS, for example, after you have Linux kernel. So switching around, we can forget about it. We don't need to remember update the grub because look at the image, it does that automatically. And that's great. So one thing less to worry about, and this is the explanation how to fix it, because sometimes you get a system you can't boot in again. So I forgot to update the grub, and how do I fix that? Edit grub and boot back into your system. So looking at this can be useful as well. Even for other Linux distributions, right? If you can't boot into it, you need to edit the grub. The Kali project, we've done lots of things, and I probably forgot lots of things to mention here. But the Kali project is where you're going to make a customized Arch Linux system. So ArcoLinux, it's hosted on ArcoLinuxiso.com. By the way, this is the Min browser. So Min, it's a very strange name, short name. Office, no, multimedia, min, don't see it. Oh, multimedia, internet, min, here it is. All right, so we're looking at the world through the eyes of Min. So ArcoLinux ISO, customized Arch Linux ISO. That's for people who want to start their own distro from scratch. And this is the from scratch we started back in the, well, years ago. Let's see how long ago. October 6, 2019, we started with our story. Well, actually here. And we started building up our ISO from scratch. So also an interesting project. And now we were designing the colors of Calamares. So the tool we use to install ArcoLinux on our system. So some design, Calamares design we did, and we added extra options. No, this is back, this is Kali, right? And we've made it compatible with Arch ISO version. That's it. And here we're back to ArcoLinux. And this is about having extra options. We've added the Linux LTS headers, that's new I think. So all the headers are included. If you want them, you select them. Sometimes it's interesting if you have DKMS modules you want to build, or VirtualBox is your intent to use it anyway later on, so you can have it immediately. Now I'm thinking, I do think we've added Linux LTS headers by default already on our systems on the ArcoLinux flagship anyway. I have to look into that, but we want to have a system that just works out of the box always, whatever you're planning to do, and installing Linux headers is not a bad idea. And then we've added some more things for Nvidia. So we have the Linux headers. Is this new? I wonder. I think so. This certainly is new. So Nvidia related things is new. And if you need it, you can install it. This is for the Optimus Manager. I use it for the hybrid PCs. So laptops, sorry. Hybrid laptops, Intel, Nvidia, together in one machine. Then I do this. Again, lots of videos about Nvidia and about that. So basically we want to give you more choice when you are at that particular page. We've been playing around with styling. You'll see that it looks a bit bigger. The font is bigger. It was so small for me. It's a little bit bigger, and thanks to the friends of Endeavor OS. So we are in some kind of group on Telegram where all the ISO builders come together and ask questions to each other, talk about Calamares and more. But basically it's a Calamares core group. And he showed me some code and said, oh look, I can work with that particular code and design. That's what we've done, design it. And once we got that knowledge, then we designed Carly. So you'll see that it looks a little bit different, a bit nicer. The pictures are also bigger because tiling window managers are full screen always, right? Full screen. So we have beautiful, bigger images. And here we have the clash. This is XFCE updating. All the icons were wrong. Everything was wrong in the XFCE settings. That's, oh my God. So much work, and I believe it was a very unfortunate timing as well. Can't remember what day it was, but it was like, not today. So yeah, I fixed everything. All the icons are now again looking normal. That goes for Saturday and Surfing together. I always do them together. A nice video of 227 icon themes to choose from. 227 icon themes. Let it sink in, right? So there is probably some of them you're gonna like, based on Saturday, which is circle, or based on Surfing, which is this look. And there you go. 2 icon themes added. Indeed, Saturday Flat Arc and Saturday Ghost Flexible Arc have been added to the system, to the standard Saturday package. So we always have, yeah, the love I have for Arc folders are available in the flat and in the flexible. Arch ISO, yep, all our scripts are now compatible. The latest version, thank God, this year, this January, there is no version, no update version of Arch ISO, because it always means adapt, change the scripts, always. So if you want to build, that's important. If you are a builder, ArcoLinuxB.com, if you want to build your ISOs, you need to know what Arch ISO version do I have. Do I need to update or upgrade? Do I need to downgrade to a previous version? So you check the files, it says so, what you should do. And then we started making some tutorials about the things we were already delivering you guys, but there were no tutorials yet. So the Ucode tutorial has been created, and also the Spectre WM has been created. We've made DWM as well as tutorial. I'll have to make here a title. So in between here we're missing a title saying DWM tutorials, and if I look at this, it's 16 DWM or 15 DWM tutorials about it, and the Spectre WM tutorials, and then we've got all the tutorials. Oh, look at that, here they are. So something to delete there. Some minor things, I'll just let you read it. Maximizing things, you'll press the super Y to remove the polybar. As a result, full screen. So an option to get a full screen in Spectre WM. This is an interesting thing. If you update your system and you do not go inside this .bin and you never take a look at the things that are in here, this is how we stay rolling. This is how your machine stays the same as a ISO that you would install. So this is making the same jumps as the ISO makes, besides the XF86 video Intel. We've not included that guy. But here you're going to say to Pacman, look Pacman, if you update, oops, Control C, F12, remember F12. If something is blocked up there, you will get this thing, always. We all do it. Okay, cutie face, fine. So the point is, these guys are at the top and these guys are at the bottom. So basically we overrule them always. If I put a package in here that's called Discord, you'll get the package Discord from us, even though there's a package here. So the first comes, first serves is, first come, first serve meaning if it's in here, you'll get it from there. And that was the issue we had, I think, in November or December. Discord was not working from ArcoLinux, and we've made our own Discord version. And now, if you just update, you don't know it, you don't see the bug, you just get our package and it will work. And later on, ArcoLinux will make their package and it will work too. Okay, so that's this. And that particular package is going to keep on installing, removing things. So it's the same as the ISO, but it relates in there. It relates to install me this on your computer system. ArcoLinux config all desktops. And the package, the idea of the package is that we have one package to rule them all, 21 desktops, one package that we are installing on all our ISOs. And we'll see what we can put in there. At this particular moment in time, it's just MIME apps lists. And some of you probably gonna know what that already is. It's like telling docx to Windows, open up with Word. That's basically it. It's going to point to a certain MIME apps, a certain application. Here we are, MIME apps list. But it's nicely ordered, created alphabetically. This is not Linux. Linux doesn't do that alphabetically. It would be great, but no, it doesn't. So we've made a MIME apps list where if you have a text, open it with atom text. If you have this, open it with that. If you have this, open it with that. So that's the link between an extension or a file and the application. Here you're going to meddle and change things in text, because in Plasma you just go to your system here. In many systems you go to open that with that. You have system settings for it. But like always, a GUI is just what it is, front end to a file, and it writes something to a file. So that's our try to standardize and make something that's more maintainable. I need to go here, and that's for the coming months. A new wallpaper from Jan that we've used. The tweak tool, we just keep on updating it and maintaining it. But one of the things happened, and that's the Bobo repo is gone. Has no time anymore to maintain it, so we've left it out. Heftus repo is still in, but Bobo is out. Yeah, we do love our Discord and Telegram so much, and the flagship is already so bloated, so like somebody said, some people say, and others people say it's perfect the way it is. It's just exactly the way I want it. So it's never gonna be suitable for everybody, and that's why we have the ArcoLinux D and then the B. Build it yourself. Decide what you want on it. Build it. But we want this thing. Flagship is our ISO, is the ISO from the core members, from the beta testers. We develop constantly on the flagship. We want Discord, we want Telegram. We want to have contact with you guys immediately when we do a clean install. More support for Vivaldi to the flagship. So if you want to see Netflix, it's going to be there. If you want to see YouTube, it's going to be there, and that's great. At this particular moment in time, we're using this version. You can always have a look what changed. We've added Emacs, so people ask us, would it be possible to install this or that? Put it on Calamares, not install it on the ISO, but put it there, so we just have to click. Well, just tell us, and if it's a good thing, you say, yeah, it could be a benefit for many people, poof, it's on there. Yeah, remember, beginning of December 2020, Reflector gave us issues. Still not that good, I think. But anyway, we've created our Osbeck, ArcoLinux Osbeck as mirror script. So the only thing it does, it's just giving pacman one repo. If that repo fails, you got nothing as backup. But it's always, most of the time, like super fast, fully complete. But it's a choice. We've got another way to get fast
packages in. That's the only thing always. Where are we getting our packages from? And mirror list. I didn't type in this yet, so this is the standard mirror list that we provide you. And the first one is Osbeck, and then Evo-wise, Rackspace, and so on. Worldwide, Australia, and so on and so on and so on. You can edit these things. You don't need to use alias as a reflector. Change this and say I just want to have France. Then you delete everything to the top, everything in the bottom after France, and there you go. You have your France servers. But it's always going to be the first from France, and that's the second. So you don't know anything about the speed. And that's why we use the reflector as a script. He's going to order the servers, which one is the fastest. New structure. Okay, yeah, so if you open user bin main, we've put something more in more folders, more structure. So you know, if you have a problem with keys, you go in here. If you want to have Linux LTS kernel, you go in there. Samba means if you want to go for sharing files and folders, that's here. The swap file, that's something Calamares provides these days, to not to create a swap partition, but a swap file. Now the file is fixed the size, but eventually Calamares will make a nice graphical user interface with a little slider or something, or number, poof, and you can say 4 GB swap file. But now we have a little script that says choose how many gigs you want for G, enter, and you have a swap file for G. Fun script has been replaced with a package. The fun script is gone. That was used to be here. It's just all in here. Why keep two things around if there is just a package they can install? Intel Ucode, AMD Ucode. So again, the update grub. Boot file Intel Ucode, images not found. We explain you how that's how to solve that. Update your grub with update grub and so on. We explain you that as well. How to solve that issue. So ArchWiki, Intel Ucode. Look what they say. ArchWiki, AMD Ucode. So either you have an Intel CPU, either you have an AMD CPU, and you go read. It's not a GPU, it's not a graphical card, it's a CPU. Okay. So read if you want to install it. Often I don't install it, I'm too lazy to actually include it. I have an Intel Ucode, but I don't see any difference. But then again, it's my machines, my personal experience. It's up to you to make up your own mind on your machine. Okay, anyway, again, a troubleshooting video. I've been playing a lot with my smartphone and filming everything, because that's the only way. If there is an error, it's a chance for me to film it. If I don't make any errors, nothing happens. I mean, just boots up. I can't make any videos how to solve issues. But here I created one, and voila. Then you know what to do if something like that happens. So the pacmancom, we talked about it. It needs to be at the top, and it is now at the top if you run the script in keep rolling there. Or if you do a clean install, of course. What's this? Yeah, that's the package. So the mentioning pacman.conf, that's a new pacman.conf we put in there. It's explained also in the stay rolling video. So there are two videos always, every 2 months, stay rolling and what's new. This is the longer one. What's new? Longer as 30 minutes already. Okay. Adblock is there. Yeah, so the adblock thing, we should be mentioned really. There's so smaller things there. I've omitted very small things that is okay. I'm focusing on the important things, but it is interesting to show you again that this blocks a lot of rubbish sites when you go on the internet. And have a look at adblock websites, because it does not come, well, it comes from us, but it's not from us. You know how it goes. That's Linux. So we have the package, we create the package, but it's coming from Hectorm. And this is the guy who improves your security and privacy by blocking ads tracking and malware domains. So
That's something like we ad blocker in browsers and so on. That's what you think about, right? HBlock, adblock. That's it. But it starts on your machine already. It blocks everything. Any IP address that's rubbish, it's gonna block it. So that's a good thing. Basically, most of the time, I'm not too lazy. I put it on. And that's actually easy. Ctrl-Alt-E. It's our tweak tool. In our tweak tool, I just click on the slider. If it's open, you know, if it's open, where you go through everything and say, okay. Oh, it's still not on, I say, and I click. Enable HBlock, that's all I do, I click. It's very technical. But then I'm protected and I don't see anything else. So that's the old version. So we're back to the one. I can delete this particular bit. Yeah, at some point in time, that must be beginning December or even earlier, we decided to put pacmancom all and not pacmancom on our system. The difference is that you can also install now snap and flatpack packages. And the one I did it for, or what was the reason to do it, is I'm afraid the game Trackmania nostalgia. that's all. Why not? Why the hell not install pacmancom? And then you can install lots more. So from flatpack and snap, many articles I've written about it. That I think they are in here. No, they're not. So on YouTube, snap and flatpack, and some images of Trackmania, some videos about it. So pacmancom can do more, basically. All right. The Spices application got an update, improvement in layout, and more information to the user. Nobody's interested in this in ArcoLinux. Nobody should ever download this on ArcoLinux. This should be downloaded on ArcoLinux. We want you to go to learning phases. Phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is go to ArcoLinux and learn to install an ArcoLinux ISO. And that's explained on the ArcoLinux D ISO. Whoop, scroll up. You can always navigate like this. ArcoLinux D ISO. And in phase 5 we talk about, okay, start here or read, fine, and then Archway, old computer, new computer, all in VirtualBox if you want to try it out first, and on phase 2, phase 3, and we can install, of course, also 21 desktops, the one that we have on Arch and ArcoLinux. It's the same, right? It's ArcoLinux and ArcoLinux. The difference is 5%, maybe 5%. ArcoLinux exists 95% of ArcoLinux. All right, awesome. We removed MPD from the menu bar. Okay, fine. Cups, yeah. People had problem with cups printing. ArcoLinux changed something in the names of some of the services, and then we got this broken link. You see this X still here, and here's the X, very clear. And basically we solved the issue. I think it's a very short video, 6 minutes. Okay, so it's basically a very simple solution. It's a renaming convention again. BSP, WM, and gaps. We've made a tip, right? A tip indeed. A tip from Telegram users said, yeah, you can make the gaps bigger and smaller with the scroll of the mouse. Oh, that's interesting. So super and super control, and we can scroll and make the thanks for the tip, and make it wider. So that's interesting. And here is some explanation about the swap file. So we know we have a script, and the script makes it between 1 and 32 gigabytes big, and but standard it's 512, voila. But we changed later on if we reboot. Guys who have 16 gigabyte, I have 16 gigabyte. Swap will not be used. You have enough. And you should do immense things before swap is going to be used. But you have 2 gigabytes of RAM, then a swap is interesting. It gives you a little bit more memory, so to speak, either on the swap partition or the swap file. So low in memory, you swap. Calamares installation of extra packages. So the snapd, the flatpack are on there now. That's okay. So more explanation how to install flatpack. So here they are, here they come. So flatpack, snapd, click, click if you want it. Don't select it if you don't want it. HTOP is there by default. One is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. GIMP and Inkscape, I don't know why we forgot them, but they're now on Calamares, ArcoLinux D and the B ISOs. They're quite important. But like I said, the B ISO is actually a very minimal one. So it does not include a Photoshop variant or an InDesign variant. It does not include it. It's minimal. The B is minimal. The flagship, ArcoLinux, I've never missed them because they were always there. Right? Okay, I think we're almost at the bottom. So GIMP is there. And as you see, we were playing around with design because this bar is still orange and we've decided to go for a blue look at the very top. So it's design, it's not important, but it's sometimes, yeah, first impression matters. So where are you, guy? The blue one, here he is. So it's just a color, I know, but I'm already very glad that the font is bigger. That is also beautiful on the tiling window managers. We have 8 tiling window managers, and it should be awesome there too. Whew. Guys, 36 minutes. This can conclude, and I really not sure if it's gonna be super complete, but it's 90% complete of all the things we've done in the last 2 months, and that's a lot. All right, maybe one thing. Whew, thank God I thought about that. We should have put it in here somewhere. I'm gonna do it later on. One of the things we've done as well, and let's see if I can still make this right. I wonder. No. We have a new desktop which I have not talked about at all. CWM will be in here, and we'll still need to make another article for ArcoLinux CWM. We totally forgot to mention that in the video, but I'm sorry guys, I'm not gonna make it over and over again. But let's see if we can find it. CWM ArcoLinux, see what we can find. ArchWiki. So it's not a tiling window manager per se. It feels like it, but it's not. It does not tile anything. But maybe we should just go for some pictures. That would be better. CWM, maybe Linux behind it. What else would we get? With images, always a danger to find things like that. So this looks very ArcoLinux indeed. So lots of things in here. None of us. Let me pause the video and get me an image. All right, I went to Discord and got me a few images of the guys. So this is CWM. It has polybar and some of the elements, so the modules, right? And then we have here some information. But as you see, it's not floating per se. It looks great, but it's not. Well, it's another desktop, and it has its own peculiarity and speciality and config, but it's interesting to give it a try. And I would like to thank John for developing it, by the way. So it's a core member who did all this, and then later on we put everything together, fit everything inside packages, and then make an ISO of it. So we have another desktop for you guys. Yep, CWM. Give it a try. All right, I do think I hope I forgot that I did not forget anything, and it's a complete story here. So, but the CWM, yeah, I'm gonna put it way at the top on the release article up here. All right, guys, cheers.